So the first time I caught myself walking away from the guy I was dating when I was 18, we went to a restaurant. It was called Denny's at the time. And we went to Denny's and we were having breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever it was. Either way, we're sitting there and we're having our meal. Now, I want to say it was a table full of guys sitting behind him. So I'm sitting in the booth. I'm facing the guys. His back is towards the guys. Or it could have been a man and a woman. Either way, it didn't make sense of how he got up and showed his behind. And these people, I don't even know whatsoever. They don't know me and I don't know them. So we're eating and you're looking at people coming in or whatever, walking by. I'm just glancing, y'all, but I'm not doing like a disrespectful glance or anything like that to make him show out like he did. So he finally turns around and he sees that the table behind us is either full of men or a man and a woman sitting at this table. So he looks behind him, he sees who's there, and he turns back around to me and he's like, "So you know him?" And I'm like, "No, who?" And he's like, "The man sitting at the table behind me." I was like, "Why would you even say that?" And he was just like, "Because he's staring at you and you keep looking at him. He must be like doing little hand gestures to you or something like that." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I'm not looking at anybody and nobody's looking at me. At least I'm not paying attention that if anybody is looking at me or whatever." So this man jumps up out of his booth that we're sitting in and he just starts yelling to the top of his lungs, "Oh, you want him now? You want him now? Here you go. You can have her. She free. I'm leaving." And he walks out the restaurant. And I'm sitting there embarrassed like, what in the world just happened? So that night, we left or whatever. He had just walked outside and went and sat in the car. This night, he had a vehicle. Somebody let him hold or whatever. So when I got back in the car, I was just like, "Take me home. I'm done." I was like, because prior to this, he had already been doing the, don't want me to get off the phone. And he's doing the, the crazy leg thing, messing with my calves and stuff like that. So at this point, I've had enough. So I'm just like, you know what? Once he got me home, I'm like, you know what? I think we need to take a break. I think that I need to be by myself to think about things, this, that, and the third. And he's just like, "No, baby. I mean, I just thought I just thought that y'all knew each other because of the way he was looking at you and the way you was looking at him." And I'm like, "There's no look that was gave to anybody. So what did you see?" And he was just like, "I get jealous because you mines and I don't want nobody else taking what's mine, this, that, and third." And I'm sitting here once again reassuring him, I don't want nobody else. All I want is you. I'm not looking at anybody else. I'm not trying to entertain anybody else. I'm sitting and eating food with you, nobody else. He was like, "Okay, I understand, but you mines. I don't like to share my woman." And I'm like, "You're not sharing me." I said, "You know what? I think we need to just chill for a minute. Just like, let's just take a break." So he's like, "Okay, that's what you want to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's just take a break." Okay, so we go ahead and we take the break or whatever. And so, of course, I'm missing him like crazy and I want to be with him. I just want him to stop acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just act normal. And when I say that I'm with you, trust me, I'm with you. I'm not showing you anything different to make you think that I'm going to do something behind your back or, hurt you in any kind of way. And so I just want you to relax and give me a chance. So still on this break or whatever, and we're talking back and forth to each other or whatever, but it's not that serious. Like at this point, I won't let him keep me on the phone like he used to because we're on a break. So now I can kind of set boundaries and, make things kind of go in my favor, how I want them to go or whatever. So right now I got this little bit of control. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and ease my way back into the relationship, but I'm not going to go back full in. Okay. So one night my friend called me up. It was a couple of friends from school. I had hung out with them a couple times before, but we didn't like hang out tough like I did with my other homegirls or whatever. So this one particular friend was like, and he did not know her. He didn't know this friend. This was somebody totally different. So she called me up and she was just like, hey, you want to go chill with us? Her and another friend at Universal Studios tonight. And I'm like, sure, you know what I'm saying? I need to get out. I need a breath of fresh air. And so, yeah, I'll go and hang out with you. I didn't tell him I was going to Universal Studios. I'm going to just say it was a coincidence. It really was, because he had no clue that I was going to be there. And I had no clue he was going to be there. Just so happened, we end up at Universal Studios at the same time on the same night. So me and my friends get there. Before you go into Universal Studios, you got to walk through the escalator and all this other stuff. And while we were on the escalator, I hear somebody say my name. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. And they just screaming. And I'm just like ignoring it for a minute there, because who's here that could possibly know my name as such? Even the friends that I'm with don't even know me by that name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, it could be a million of those names out here at the time. And so I'm just ignoring it. So all of a sudden I see somebody running in the opposite direction of the way that this escalator is going. And as they get closer, I realize it's him. So I'm just like, oh man. In a way, I was kind of happy to see him. In a way, I wasn't, because I'm trying to take a break from him. And the last time we were together, you made a big scene. And I don't want you to do that again. I don't want to go through that again. Well, lo and behold, I go through that again. This time it went a little different. So, like I said, this person is running towards me on this escalator and yelling my name. So once we get face to face, he's now on his knees begging my forgiveness. I'm so sorry. I want you back. I miss you. This, that, and da, da, da. So he stands up, and then he finally, we keep going down the escalator or whatever. And then at Universal Studios, they have this ground water spout things that shoot up water out the ground. They had one of those. So while he's on the escalator confessing his love to me and all that, professing his love to me and all this stuff, I'm not falling for it so easily right now, because you really hurt me the way that you showed out on me in that restaurant. And I really don't appreciate it. And then on top of that, the way that you're trying to hold me on the phone, the way you're trying to control me, the leg thing, all of that stuff is what I'm trying to sit back and reflect on and see if this is something I really want to continue doing with him. So we get to the water area off of the escalator, and now we're standing there. This thing is on a timer. So the longer you stand there, you never know when the water is going to shoot up out of this thing. Okay. So now we're in that area. So he's standing directly on top of that pad. I'm going to call it a splash pad, because I know of that from, taking my son to the pool and stuff like that. And they call it a splash pad. That's what he was standing on top of. A splash pad that spits the water up out the ground. It gets you wet. And then it stops suddenly. So he's standing on top of that thing and he's talking. I'm standing on the outside of it, because I know water is going to come out of there. I'm not going to stand on there, because I don't plan on getting wet tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here chilling and enjoying the environment that I'm in. So he's standing in the middle of that thing, and I'm telling him, you might want to get off of there before the water, pops up or whatever. And he was just like, I'm not moving until you tell me you're going to take me back. So now there's a crowd starting to form, because he's talking loud and he's doing just crazy stuff. Like he then, when I'm still saying no, he then proceeds to get on all fours on the ground, and he's crawling around like a puppy. He's crawling around on the ground on all fours, and he's like, please take me back. Brr. I'm like, Oh my God. I'm like, please stop. And the people that are standing around, he literally did that, y'all. What I just did, he did that. The people around that are now formed a circle in a big old crowd are like, oh my God, take him back, take him back. And I'm sitting there looking at them and I'm like, y'all don't know what he done put me through. Talking about take him back. No, I don't want to take him back right now. I want him to get up off the ground and stop doing this. Nope. He's still down there saying the same thing. Please take me back. Brr, I'm so sorry. Brr, please take me back. And I'm like, no, please get up because the water is about to come out. Well, water starts shooting up and this man just getting soaked and wet. Standing here in the middle of this splash pad, because now at this point he done got a little bit further in. He's standing in the middle of this splash pad getting soaking wet, screaming to the top of his lungs how much he loves me and this, that, and the third. And I ain't gonna say that I wasn't feeling a soft spot while he was doing all that, because at the same time, I still never experienced this before with nobody, but I also haven't experienced the amount of pain and embarrassment that he's been giving me. And I want to so strongly hold on to the anger that I had in me because he didn't do me right. And I know he didn't. And I wanted him to think about things. I didn't want him to beg me back. I wanted him to just think about things and stop doing what he was doing to hurt me, because he was causing me pain. But all on the other end, he was showing me love all at the same time. And it was crazy. It was driving me up the wall. So I'm still like, oh my God, I can't believe he's standing here in the middle of this thing getting wet like that. And so I said, okay, come out of it. And you need to get dry because you're going to end up getting sick. You're out here in this air because we're in an open place right now. We're still like outside. So he's soaking wet. Nice clothes on and you're soaking wet standing out here making me feel like a bad person right now. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's just like, oh, take him back. Take him back. And then he proceeds to say, will you marry me? And he had a ring. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, please just get up, get up. But he had me with the ring. He had me with the ring right there at Universal Studios. He proposed to me right there. We didn't get married or anything like that, but just in that moment, he manipulated me so bad that I seen the ring and I'ma just say everything kind of went out the door, but I still was like, you know, still trying to tug for that. I just want you to stop acting crazy. So I was able to say that to him, but did it stop? No, because now he done put this ring on my finger and things are getting worse. So that was another crazy thing that he did to me and then turned around and proposed to me all at the same time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I took him back and things got worse. So stay tuned for the next story.